Blue Beetle is now in theaters. Quite a good little movie. I really quite enjoyed it. It did horribly in its opening weekend, making only $25 million. We talked about this yesterday. The lowest box office opening for a DCU film since Wonder Woman 84. And some of the movies that opened bigger than Blue Beetle did only went on to make under $200 million at the box office. So here's hoping the Blue Beetle can have many legs. That aside, though, we now got word that the director of Blue Beetle, I don't know how he likes his first name pronounced. I've only read... What's that?
Angel?
It is Angel. Okay. Mm-hmm. As you said, I don't know if they pronounce it Angel or if they pronounce it like they did in Dexter, Angel. Mm-hmm. So Angel Manuel Soto, who directed Blue Beetle and did a very good job directing it. Well, he is now signed on to a new project directing a movie called Wrecking Crew that is going to be a buddy action comedy with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. This comes to us from Deadline, who write this. Dave Bautista, Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, and Jason Momoa, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, are teaming up with Blue Beetle director Angel Manuel Soto on The Wrecking Crew, the buddy action comedy that they have set up at MGM. The story goes on. Bautista and Momoa were both in talks for the film, scripted by Warrior creator Jonathan Troper, long before the SAG-AFTRA strike. Troper's deal was negotiated and closed and his script submitted prior to the WGA strike began in early May. Plot details are under wraps for now, but Bautista and Momoa sold the pitch to MGM following a bitter battle in the fall of 2021 as we were the first to report. Jeffrey Frierson, Momoa's collaborator on the Netflix/Discovery Canada series Frontier, I've seen that show, not very good, will produce. So yeah, this is kind of like fantasy football, putting together Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista, two guys that you'd think would be competing for the same kind of role, but they're going to be in an action buddy cop thing together. And this is going to be interesting. Listen, everybody knows the affection I have for Dave Bautista. I think he's fantastic. He has, though, struggled when given the responsibility to be the leading guy in a film. We don't need to revisit Stuber. Or what's the one he had with the little girl where he was like the secret agent?
I thought that was Stuber.
No, Stuber he did with Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, yeah, Stuber too.
But that's like a wrestling rite of passage, is you have to do a movie with a kid where you're a reluctant guardian.
Yeah, that's true. Vin Diesel did it. Yeah. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did it. Neither very
Hogan
good. But
did it.
Yep.
But I mean, Stuber was one I was actually pretty excited about, but that was a bad film. So putting these two guys together could be interesting. Again, I think Soto did a very, very good job directing Blue Beetle, juggling the ideas of some heavy emotional elements, the family elements, with fun comic book style action and humor. And he just did a really good job putting it all together. And if you can get two guys like Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa, two guys that I like very much watching on screen, I think this could be kind of fun. Now, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money. Did you know that the average person has around 12 paid subscriptions and they might not even remember to subscribing to half of those? If you have no idea just how much you're spending each month, you need Rocket Money. It's this great app that tracks all of your expenses so you know exactly where your money is going. I recently just found out that over 80% of people have subscriptions that they've completely forgotten about. Seriously, think about how many free trials you subscribe to that you just probably never canceled. And that's why I'm such a big fan of Rocket Money, because I was one of those people. When I signed up to Rocket Money, I was stunned to find out that a gym I had belonged to in another city I lived in, I had still been paying my dues to for over 2 years. Also, that music subscription service I use, I forgot I was subscribed to 2 other ones. That's where Rocket Money comes in, because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With over 3 million users and counting, Rocket Money customers have saved on average of $720 a year. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Campea. That's rocketmoney.com/Campea. rocketmoney.com/Campea. Jonathan, you were asking me earlier if this was a remake of an older film called Wrecking Crew.
Yeah,
the Dean Martin one.
And there was a series called The Wrecking Crew from the 60s. So now that makes me want to like go back and watch some of those and see if there's any...
Now, by the way, but that's the thing. We don't know if this is a remake of that or they just happen to be using the same title because they're just saying details are being kept under wraps. Anyway, Chris, you hear about this. You know, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista together starring together in a movie. It feels weird. Buddy action cop. What do you like about this?
I mean, you know that I love Jason Momoa,
Yeah.
my golden retriever energy boy. I'm so excited about that. And I hope they let Dave Bautista rock that golden retriever energy as well. Or maybe they'll make him more Rottweiler so they can play off of each other and there's some I'm too old for this shit kind of dynamic happening here. But I think this should be super, super fun. These are two guys who are great at action, who really have been the best parts of some things too. I love Drax so much. Those clips from Fast and Furious, because that's all I've seen, are just cut scenes of Jason Momoa.
Did you see him, the painting nails scene?
Yes, the painting
How good
nails
is that
scene
scene?
is so good. I just love everything he does too. He did that great little Slumberland movie on Netflix recently. He's been doing a lot of things that I think have kind of flown under the radar where he's just great in it. And so I really, really would like this to be a wonderful vehicle for both of them. I also just think that, and this is just purely based off of CinemaCon, Momoa and Hel's vibe seems very, very similar. They both seem
Yeah.
like two really laid back dudes. Because Held was just so cool the whole time. He's such an awesome looking dude. I love his style. I love all his tats. I think he's great. And I feel like they would just get along really well. So I hope this is a really fun collaborative project for the three of them because I really want all three to have a win. These are three guys who I really, really enjoy.
And I think Ray or Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there has been a story in the past too about Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista have gone out for the same roles before.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I think we've done a story about that maybe back in the AMC days about something like that. So it's weird for me to wrap my head around. Again, it just seems like these are two guys that would be competing for a role, but rather now they're going to be in a buddy action thing together. Two very alpha male kind of leads.
But that can make such an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, very, very different types of actors. But that's what was the thing with Good Omens with David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
Right.
They kept not working together because they were always auditioning against each other. And then once they finally got to play as, you know, this odd couple kind of situation.
Angel and demon.
It's one of the best pairings we've ever had on television. So maybe we'll have that same lightning in a bottle here when you get two people in the same room who usually have to go against each other, that you can really have some fun dynamic work.
All right. Well, guys, what do you think? I mean, I got to be honest with you, because I like Blue Beetle so much, and I do like Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista both so much, even without a lot of details other than it's a buddy action film, sign me up. Now the big question is going to be who's the bad guy in it? Who do you get as the bad guy when Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista are your heroes?
Daniel Radcliffe.
You know the Jason Momoa show.
I was going to say Steve Buscemi.
Yes, the
but
one on Apple TV Plus.
Dave Bautista was on.
Yeah, he was a
season
villain
2.
on it.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
had
so
a
they've worked
rivalry already.
together.
So they had something on screen stuff.
See,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
they were
see them as
brothers
foils to
in
each
C.
other on C. I can see
Yeah.
them I can see them as foils, but as a buddy action. By the way, C, the one Apple Plus show I didn't really like, despite the fact that I love Jason Momoa
I've
so much.
only seen bits and pieces because Logan's really into it.
Of course Logan's
Logan
really
likes
into
it.
it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.